Welcome to Arrogance and Ales. I'm JJ.
I'm Trevor.
I'm Faraz.
I'm Josh.
I'm Mike.
All right, let's get rolling. So, Faraz, you invited Mike to today's podcast. Mike? Where are you from?
I'm one of the owners and the brewer for 3 Threes in Hamilton, New Jersey.
Nice. Where's Hamilton located? Is that North Jersey?
South Jersey.
It's South Jersey. I'm not sure. I didn't know.
Yeah, we're like halfway between Philadelphia and Atlantic City. If you drew a line
Oh, I got you. Okay.
down here in farm country,
Nice. Jersey sweet corn.
it's about time, man. It's about time. That and blueberries.
So how has COVID affected you?
Oof. It's a challenge, you know. Draft beer sales, I think all of us know, are pretty much gone. Everybody's fighting for cans and trying to get shelf space in liquor stores and transition draft accounts to package to go and trying to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So what about like your employees and everything? How has that been? You know, have you been able to maintain most of them or not? Or
So
how has that been?
our whole production staff is still in-house and still working. Unfortunately, we had to let some of our tasting room staff, furlough them for the time being. In Jersey, I don't know if you guys know, because we're a PA, but we're not allowed to have anybody in the brewery. It's all curbside only and delivery. So everything's online ordering, contactless, touchless, all that fun stuff. So it kind of changes the business model and puts more onus on us to spend more hours there, just to keep things going. But we're making do. We're still making beer, so life's good.
Who has to learn how to be a delivery driver?
Me. I'm also sorry. I don't have my delivery driver cap on, but yeah. My brother and I, we kind of trade off. I've been doing a lot of the deliveries because I can do a lot of my stuff either off hours or, on the road. So
That's what I spent my
Josh,
day doing all day, was delivering beer. All
And then
about that life.
Yep, and then you can make phone calls and coordinate with suppliers and order labels and grain and all that fun stuff from the car.
Yeah, it's definitely not the worst to multitask, but
No.
Has that changed? Like, or being able to order, like, has it become an issue yet? Or is it still just, same old, same old?
We're definitely keeping more grain on hand just so that we don't get slowed down. So we were kind of getting stuff just in time because we don't have a lot of space, but now we're trying to take advantage of all of our space and the tasting room to store stuff. So we're trying to keep like at least 2 weeks worth of grain on hand just in case there is a warehouse that goes down or trucking issues or stuff we're hearing about but haven't been directly impacted by yet. Keyword.
I know
yet.
it's not directly related to the beer industry, but you look at the meat industry and how many of the meat packing plants are shut down right now, and there's a meat shortage, and that could affect grain the same way. I mean,
Absolutely. A lot of that stuff's automated. It doesn't require as many hands-on as meat packing does, but my father runs a hardware store and they are True Value, and they can't even get deliveries from True Value because there's warehouse supply issues and there's trucking issues and just hard to find people that are willing to work that are healthy.
right.
How's your pops doing?
He's good. He's working a ton, but yeah, life's good. We've redone the whole tasting room, so he's been busy. So yeah, we're trying to use the time intelligently to repaint and redecorate and that kind of stuff. Hopefully we can have you guys out to the brewery at some point soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. So before we get into our topics of the day, let's maybe go into what this show is supposed to be. A beer review show. So we have your Back to Reality IPA. Love
Awesome.
the DeLorean. And we're about to crack it. And the one thing we do is we pretend like we're sheep. So what glasses do we have, gentlemen? Today I have the old school number 9. That's right, bitch.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. I have a Weyerbacher. I know Andy's coming on, and I didn't have a Graft glass, so I had to pull out the Weyerbacher glass.
Nice.
Mine might be a bit of a collector's item. I don't know.
Oh!
Oh!
That isn't Clink, is it?
I think I got this because I got a pint of clink at PJ Wheelahan's or something like years ago.
I was gonna say there
man,
might be some laying around somewhere.
Clink? Yeah, probably.
You used to get those copper lager glasses at PJ's every single time you ordered a pint. They would just give it to you. That was the only reason I drank that beer ever. I think Victory made it.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm just being, drinking out of my own glass because I didn't know we were drinking out of cool glasses today. Still unpacking my house, so.
Yeah, I'm on the same point. I've got one of our glasses, so next time give me a heads up, Faraz.
Listen, I had one, except my wife very much enjoys to break glasses, so it's just what survives out of my glass list.
Those number 9 glasses were the shit back in the day. Is that the one that's like etched everywhere all over the side?
Yeah, it's really nice. All right. Mike, why don't you tell us about this beer?
So Back to Reality is sort of the second iteration of the reality series. So I initially wrote a recipe for Escape from Reality, which is a double IPA we make. And my mom loved it, and she's like, I'm always drunk. You got to do something about this. Fix it. So she convinced me to make one lower ABV. She came up with the name. So it's basically a scaled down version of the double. What I love about it is it's super crushable. At only 6%, you can drink a bunch of them. Amarillo was my favorite hop at the time. Still kind of is. So a bunch of Amarillo, some Mosaic, some Simcoe in there. It's not the haziest beer you're going to find. It's not the thickest, but it's, I think, one of the more approachable IPAs that we make. And we just really like drinking it because
you know what I get out of it? I get a nice breadiness out of it, and I like that along with the hops. I think it's a good balance.
Yeah, just a little bit of some pearl malt from the UK. Mixed in with the wheat.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I like the lighter body on it. Definitely great beer for when the weather gets hot. Sure.
Yeah.
It's good.
McFly me away. I like it.
We try to come up with a different reference every time we can, which is like every other week. So, had to get a little creative.
What was the guy's name? Christopher, the guy in Back to the Future who was on Taxi. Christopher Lloyd. Yeah. Dude, I loved him, man. He was such a great actor. I thought Taxi was one of my favorite shows back in the day.
Well, so that's the funny part. We had the name in the beer well before we had the can. Like, it wasn't meant in the beginning to be a Back to Reality, or a Back to the Future themed beer. It kind of just morphed into that. So the name existed, the beer existed before we put it in cans for almost a year. So
wow.
It kind of just came together. Our artist kind of came up with the idea. He's like, hey, what if we link it to this? And as soon as we saw the idea, we're like, yes, run with it, go with it, make it happen.
So let's get on to line life. And we can talk about this with Mike and Andy. Is line life still a thing at breweries like yourselves?
We don't really see it where we are for any of the breweries. Just being a rural area, there's not the population density. I know plenty of people that are still chasing it. At places like Burley Oak gets a pretty good showing. Other half seems like it was still there pre-COVID. Burley Oak? I feel like Burley Oak has fallen off a little bit in their line life. It just seems like it bounces from brewery to brewery. And if you're a brewery that has it, be thankful you have it, because tomorrow it could be gone. That's what it feels like.
Well, Josh, what about 12%? Do you guys do releases there?
Yeah, and I mean, pre-COVID, I think a lot of it has to do with people having the ability to do shares. Like, back in the day when you would go to lines, that was the whole thing, was go to hang out, share some beers. It wasn't necessarily about the release that was happening then. It was more the culture of everything and hanging out and getting to try stuff that you couldn't, try really anywhere else, or have an opportunity to open up a 25-ounce, pastry stout and not have to sit there and dome it to yourself. So pre this, 12% had a pretty decent amount. I mean, it wasn't huge, but there was 20, 30, 40 people showing up and cracking beers and hanging out before the release. But well, again, I don't think it was necessarily all strictly for the release, where it was more like the culture of there's nowhere to go hang out and crack beers like this, really.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a combination, though. I think, places that had enough production that, you didn't have to worry about scarcity weren't seeing that, even if the beer was sought after.
Yeah.
I think it kind of fell off at Treehouse because they're finally making enough that everybody gets it. It's just a matter of how long you wait to get it. So that's another one. I guess they're technically getting a line, right?
No, they still have lines. I mean, even that at some point is going to, I would think, die off. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. They built like a 5 times bigger brewery. And
well, maybe they'll allow people to drink in the brewery then if it dies off.
Perhaps.
You know what I mean? Because now you can only have like a beer, right? You can have a beer and then you got to leave.
I thought they changed that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I thought it was starting to increase.
When I was up there, maybe like, I don't even know at this point, 6 months ago, it feels like an eternity. But I was up there on like a weekday, and you could get, I think it was like 4 pours.
Oh, wow.
Per person, something like that. But like, it wasn't anything that they said on social media or anything. It was like pretty much we went there to just grab cans. We were passing by, and they were allowing people to get pours. So I don't know if it's like a regular thing that they do. It was like a Tuesday, so they could have just been dead and they let it happen. But
they might feel it out. They might just feel it out how busy it is and just say, hey, today's only 2,
I know during weekends it was like straight up a no-go. You would just grab cans and have to leave. But
right.
But at the old facility when I used to live up in Mass, it was like you just got to be there at the right time a day when they let it open on Saturdays. And sometimes you could get 1 pour. But it wasn't announced. It was like, you'd watch people walk out and then they'd suddenly be like, all right, we're going to open up for pours. So scarcity kind of creates the drive, I think.
We were up in Massachusetts about 6 months ago, and we stopped in at Jack's Abbey. That's a really cool place, man. It's amazing what they do with their lagers, and their IPLs are phenomenal, in my opinion. I think they do a great job.
They had like a dry hopped Pilsner when I was there, and it was fantastic. I forget what it was called, but their food was awesome too at Jack's Abbey.
Yo, amazing.
To hang
the
out.
pizza is amazing there. They had a wild mushroom pizza that was
I think I had that same exact one.
Off the hook.
I got that and some like crazy ass pretzel that they were
like
they bake in house, and everything was fucking awesome.
Yeah, what else? Their space is just cool to hang out.
Yeah. You know what else? They know how to pour a fucking beer. Every beer had an inch and a half head on it. Every freaking beer. It was cool.
I think that's more lager traditional than it is, because they're making all lager beer there. Versus.
So why is that different than like in New England that you have to have you have to have no head right to the top of the glass?
The boss pour.
I hate it, dude. I hate it.
Just for the gram.
Dude, I was actually looking at a picture the other day. Somebody posted one of our beers on Instagram, and it was filled all the way to the top of that. And I was just like, how the fuck did they even do that? No head, no lacing on the glass.
I know.
Did they just let it fucking sit out for like an hour and then pour it? So it was just like into a new glass. So I don't even understand it. I don't know why you would want to drink beer like that.
You just pour it, let it go, pour it, and then you put it to the top because you think you're totally effing Jenner of beer.
Do that with like a thick hazy IPA. You're gonna have some lacing on the glass from stopping to pour to let the head go down. It was amazing. It was like a clean ass glass. I don't know how they did it.
I don't understand. I don't understand
how
the Instagram pics became cool to go right to the top with liquid with no head, and why is that cool? Because Michael Jackson is rolling over in his grave right now. Like,
I think a lot of it is just most IPAs don't hold the head super well because of all the hop oils in there.
Or the New Englands don't because the head retention just stinks in a New England.
Yeah, and it's from the hop oils.
You can make them.
Yeah, every once in a while you find one that's got a ton, but I find most of them don't have as thick of a head as something like a Pilsner or a lager, a more typical lager beer.
So what about the chase? If we're saying that line life, I still think New York, there's still line life. You can look into Instagram and look at places like Other Half and, Finback and EQ, and there's still huge lines. Whereas you look at other parts of the country, it seems like they've gone to much more of the pre-order, 48 hours, 36 hours ahead of time. You just come in, pick up, and roll, sort of like what you're doing, like just, hey, just pre-order and come get it. But what about the chase? Do you still see the chase? Is the chase still there? Like, a great one to ask is,
I think it's just been reborn, and I think Other Half is the force behind it. You see people really chasing all these all-togethers. They want everyone, and falling one short is just not an option for some people. We sold more of that beer than I ever imagined we would, quicker than I thought we would. And it's just been, people buying a case. Oh yeah, I've got like 30 friends coming to pick up from me, and buying a case of the beer just to split amongst everybody because they're trying to collect them all. So I think
that's a whole nother subject.
kind of.
Because there's moles in these groups on Facebook now that, and the moles are the PLCB or whatever Jersey's version of the PLCB would be, that are busting people for doing that.
Yeah.
Does that happen in Jersey?
I haven't seen it. We have the ABC coming out and inspecting breweries. I don't know that they have the manpower or the bandwidth to monitor beer Facebook groups, or Reddit or any of the the other platforms, but possibly.
Yeah, we saw it here though. Faraz, Trevor, remember that? That one dude.
It was Christmas time.
Yeah.
Well, there was that one. The one before that is
there was a snob, wasn't there, Faraz?
Yeah, that's who they're talking about.
Well, so were they trying to resell stuff for like a higher price, or what was? I'm not familiar.
They were just muling shit.
Yeah, he just took a buck a can for time and for gas, and they came in. They took 90% of his beer, if I remember the story correctly, and I could be getting it wrong, and less than, say, 10% of that was actually muled beer. And they just gave him a big fine.
And I think he got fined $5 a can.
Yeah, right? He got a big fine.
He got 300 some cans or something crazy. But the fucked up part about that was he wasn't even trying to make money off of it. He was just literally going to breweries and muling beer back for his friends. And just, it was like, okay, this... Well, yeah. I feel like it's all relaxed right now with COVID. Like, we're telling people, hey, if you and your neighbors want something, place one order. I don't want to charge you delivery and stop at 5 houses all next to each other. I don't think they're looking for that. But have you had any friends buying beer for other friends and just delivering it to their houses? Because we've had like Yep. We'll be going through to-go order, like delivery orders, and it'll be like the same dude like 5 times in a row. It'll be like 5 different addresses, and just like, hey, just send my friend 4-packs.
So New Jersey said that the name on the order has to match who's getting the delivery. So if they're doing it for us, they're putting their friend's name on the order and paying for it. And then they're kind of tossing out, hey, it's for my friend's birthday. Please deliver it, at this time. But I'm like, I have to call and make sure they're home. We see more people that don't get that they have to be home to get a beer delivery. Like, oh, leave my keg and a couple of 4-packs on the porch.
Yeah.
We get that all the time. Leave it by the garage. No.
Yeah.
Do they have to sign for it in New Jersey?
They're not enforcing that, and with everything trying to be contactless, I get it. But I did see an article that small businesses are going to get hammered on that. Is people ordering stuff, that they don't sign for and declining the charges and disputing them. I don't know if you guys...
it is an issue for sure. Yeah.
But
I can't see craft beer drinkers like really trying to do something like that. Like, I feel like it's such like a close knit person that's buying that beer. Well, I agree. But when you have a liquor store or beer distributor, any fucking schmuck could just, all right, let me just order a handle of Tito's and deliver it and then dispute that charge. But exactly. But when of a brewery, I feel like you have to have some sort of like craft beer.
Yeah. But do you guys see a lot of people that you're delivering to the same people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually delivered to the same 3 houses Monday and today. It was like,
Nice.
what are you
Nice.
doing? But yeah, a lot, like pretty much weekly, I'm getting a lot of the same orders, and I've been taking like the same routes, but it's been kind of easy. Just, we also started to mold how we're doing releases at 12%. So it's like, we'll drop something for pre-orders like Sunday night so we can get everything in like for whatever we're canning Monday, and then just send everybody out Monday with those orders. So instead of like, because we're offering delivery for the entire state of Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
That's been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So now we're finally getting into that rhythm of just like, all right, how do we kind of like, this is where we'll go Monday, this is where we'll go Tuesday, and just segregate the state and just get, you know, as many orders early in and just do like kind of one bigger release. But we've been basically doing like 2 releases because I don't know if you're familiar with 12%, but there's like 20 different brands that brew there. So they've been dropping a couple like Monday, and then I think they've been dropping a couple Wednesday. So like, or Sunday, and then Monday we can take a big order, and then Thursday it'll be like a huge order into Friday. So
I think JJ's hate for Brett has come up in every episode so far.
It has.
Fuck Brett.
What did he ever do to you?
It's such a horrible profile. The flavor profile is terrible. There's nothing good about it.
Yeah.
I think it's
Everyone
a good segue
has
into craft cider.
Thanks. Yeah.
No, and I'm not saying it for a bad reason. I think you guys realized that it was too much. No, this is Andy Counsley from Craft Cider, and we were just talking about how I hate Brett.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting segue, but I was going to get into it on, you know, the way we wanted to approach how cider should be perceived is go to the old roots. So we went with basically like a Spanish seed drip. So what we do is wild yeast fermentation, and we also pitch it with a wine yeast, and then it sits in a 2,500 gallon foeder, and it's really cool the way we do. And I'm referring to Farm Floor. So Farm Floor is one of our flagships. It's thank you, Faraz. It's just apple. That's the only thing in it. We don't have any other ingredients in the product. And it's cool because, there we go. I'm getting it all drippy. The best part about Farm Floor is it's tart and it's earthy and it's dry, but it's not sour. And a lot of people, we went with sour cider for a long time, and it is sour if you go against most of our competitors that are a little bit sweeter. But it's interesting because it's farmy, it's farmhouse, it's a table cider, but it's still it's good. It's 0 sugar, 140 calories, 2 carbs.
There's no back end sweetening. It's
no
not
back end sweetening.
The modern day cider. It's old school.
No, it's old school. And we get all of our apples from Menard Farms, which is in Poughkeepsie, and then they outsource from, I think it's close to 40 farms within their area as well. So everything we get is from the Hudson Valley. And we get it from one farm. They send us tanker trucks of crushed apple, basically, and that's how we do it. Takes us 3 weeks to make a batch.
There is less diaper in your current version than the older version.
Correct.
Diaper or Band-Aid. I don't care. You guys laugh what you want. Faraz, roll your eyes, whatever.
We wanted it to be a sour cider.
Yeah.
And then
It is.
Maybe we need to dial it back a little bit.
No, this is good. This is really good.
Thanks.
I'm still drooling like a Pavlovian dog, like when I drink Duchess. Yes.
And then
but you know,
your first or second sip is going to cleanse the palate. I used to do this for when I did a show the one time on a cigar site, and they wanted to pair a sour beer with a cigar. But I had to teach them how to go from drinking a lager and a Pilsner and even an IPA to going into a sour beer, and it takes 3 sips. So your first sip, what that does is it aerates the tongue. Second sip will cleanse everything off of it, and it will take away any of your other things. And by the third sip, your taste buds are actually open enough that you can taste what you're going for. So, and I say that for anything that's typically sour that you're going to drink. But
you only pick up subtle flavors after the third sip on any sour.
Yep.
The first sip is a shock to your tongue, and you got to expect it, know what you're getting into. But as soon as I taste Brett, I'm out. There's no Brett in this. I don't taste Brett, or it's very well disguised. So it's good.
No,
well,
it's funny. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was just going to say is, Mike, what about 23 Skidoo? And then Josh, what about Shotgun?
So Skidoo was lactobacillus in the kettle. So it was front end soured. It wasn't, and it was a mild sour. The one we have coming up next will be a little bit more sour, but it'll still be done the same way. Kettle. So you pitch lactobacillus, you sour it down, and then you boil it off. So it doesn't continue to sour, and you don't get any extra re-fermentation or anything.
Our reaction is lactobacillus style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, go ahead.
Well, are you using any other bugs other than, that's it?
No.
Have you tried?
I think they fooled around with it a little bit, but I'm in sales, so.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell you.
I would like to see how cider would go with like lactobacillus or any sort of
video or
blend.
something.
Yeah.
You know what? Send me your contact information. We do collaborations every single month.
Oh, sweet. Let's do something weird.
So let's see. We just got done with Thin Man. LIC Beer Project is out now. Finback comes out next month, and Stillwater comes out the month after that. So that's our
nice
collab lineup, if you will. But then after that, hey, we haven't done anything with a Pennsylvania brewery that I can remember lately. So we did one with.
I don't hear Jersey either.
Yeah,
Double
South Jersey.
Yeah, we did one with Double Nickel this past summer that came out really nice. But we'd love to, partner with everybody. Honestly, it's always an opportunity. But yeah,
let's do it.
So farm floor, 6.9%. So the reason we have to do 6.9 is you can't sell a cider over 7.
What? Where? Everywhere? Or is that in states?
Most states.
Really?
Well, PA's 8.5 or less.
Yeah, but
Some
if you're
states
distributing
it's higher,
over states.
But we're in New York, so we can't go higher than certain numbers. And then we're in 14 states, so we have to really make sure we're getting every state the exact, or at least more consistent across the board. So all of our core, except for one, is 6.9%. Comes and Goes is the only one that's a little lower. It's a wit cider that we do. We wanted to kind of crack, the explanation was if Allagash White and Sequential had a cider baby, that's kind of what we were looking for. But
Does it have the yeast esters like a white would, or
say it again?
Does it have the yeast esters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You pick up the coriander right away, that type of thing. The orange peel. It's interesting. But it's tart. There's a little sea salt in it. So it's fun stuff. The other one I had you guys pull out is Birds of Paradise. This is our seasonal right now. It's a Moscow Mule inspired cider. It's pretty cool. So it's ginger, lime, so ginger, hibiscus, lime zest, and then we threw in, Mike and Josh, you guys will get a kick out of this. We threw in lavender. Because it fucked with the flavor enough that it was neat, but it wasn't too intense. So it kind of like melded in there really nice.
Well, Windridge just did a cider with lavender I thought it was really good.
Yeah. It's interesting how things react to apple.
Right.
Yeah. We brewed a couple years ago. We did a collaboration with like Raw Winery up in the Poconos. They're a cidery too, and they have like their own orchards. So we did apples, lavender, lemon, and I'm trying to think what else we put in there. But it came out really nice. The acidity, like everything was really. It was great. The lavender was nice up front. It didn't get too floral and just like flowery, and just had a really nice finish.
That's cool. Faraz showing off as usual. Look at that.
His
Fountain
Instagram
shelf.
game.
Was that
I'm an
boss
Instagram
core?
hoe, people. I'm an Instagram hoe. I'm trying to go from hoe to influencer. That's where I'm trying to go.
The lavender is very subtle. It's not overbearing. It's perfect.
Where do you guys get your lavender from?
Everything we get, as far as most of the ingredients that we do, we source locally.
That's
I don't
awesome.
know the name offhand, Josh. I can get you the answer. It's interesting how many local places you can get to source what you're looking to do. Just because, especially now, people are if they're producing something, they're stockpiling a lot of it inadvertently because they can't get it shipped out and stuff. And it presents an opportunity for some places to get some ingredients they normally wouldn't be able to get after. So Birds of Paradise, we're doing, typically we would do salt and sand for the summer, but why bring in more new ingredients? We're just going to push through because we're killing it with this. This is the first year we've done this, and it's really cool. We want to get into more of like a cocktail-inspired seasonality anyways. The fall one we do is Last Camp. It's a honey horchata cider. That's,
Wow.
I mean,
That was
really
phenomenal
cool.
last year.
Thanks.
Yeah. I drank more than my fair share.
Thanks.
Did you add? Was it like creamy? Did you add anything like lactose or anything
Birch
like
bark.
that to make it?
Birch
Okay.
bark and see, I'm a good rep.
It came off a different type of creamy than lactose. Like it came off. I mean, if you drink horchata, it has that slightly creamy, ricey texture.
That's
Yeah.
like what my mind went to.
Yeah, I think they nailed
that.
that without being lactosey, which I just find so off-putting in beer. If there's enough
Lactose, I
lactose that you can taste the lactose flavor, it's too much, in my personal opinion. That means
Yeah.
nothing.
The actual ingredients are New York apples, honey, cinnamon, cocoa powder, birch bark, and vanilla.
Wow.
So the
cocoa
birch
powder.
bark
I think
is what gave it the uniqueness.
Yeah, but I think the
sounds
vanilla,
awesome.
the silkiness of the vanilla kind of carried through to almost replicate that rice kind of texture to it and the depth.
Yes.
It was really, really good.
So I will say that I like this one more than the other one for sure. It does taste like a head shop.
What?
It's like a head shop.
100%. 100% it does. Don't lie to yourself.
So do you mean like incense burning head shop? Like, is that what you're referring to?
Yes. What else would I be referring
I
to?
find that kind of comforting. No, I like it.
That's interesting.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
say that.
I've never heard it described like that, Faraz, but that's, hey, a difference of opinion keeps us all together, man.
I think it's subtle. I think it's subtle with that. I don't think it's overbearing at all. I like it.
I don't think it's overbearing when I go into a head shop either. I'm just saying, like, it just smells like, oh, hey.
I can't stop putting my nose in the glass. It does smell great. It smells really good.
I dig it, man. I
we
like this.
did an email 2 weeks ago with Seattle Cider's Basil Mint. And they had a drink cocktail that would go with their Basil Mint. Do you guys put out any recipes? Perfect.
All of our sell sheet for our seasonal have a cocktail next to it.
Can you email that to me?
I can. I have it already. Don't I?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, you have corn seasonal. You don't have the actual sell sheet with the cocktail on it, but JGL sent
Email that to me, Andy.
What's the weirdest collaboration that you guys have done? I know you
Josh
named
wants
a
to
couple
get
breweries and stuff. Yeah, I would just want to know, like, because I like the combination of like mixing in with cider, beer. We've done some like blending things before, and it's come out awesome. I just want to know, like, from a cidery's perspective, what you guys have done. I think it's kind of awesome.
Last year we partnered with Lamplighter before,
Nice.
and it was really cool. So we made a apple donut. They made an apple donut beer, and we made a donut beer cider, and it came across really good. It tasted like, I mean, we actually put donuts into it at certain points, to get
awesome.
that
So
flavor.
it's like a pastry cider.
Yeah, and
I'm interested.
it was really cool. It was interesting, and everyone was just like, "Man, it just tastes like apple pie." But once again, this is the weird part: 0 sugar.
So
That's awesome.
Was that a blend?
Yeah. We
You
blend
blended the beer
almost,
and the cider together.
no. We made a cider taste like a different
Oh,
beer.
okay. What
So
if it's a blend? Could there be a blend?
Yes, but we couldn't sell it with our labels, I don't think, because we have to sell it as a cider, and it would cross. I think
as long as you're 51,
I
think as long as you're 51% cider, you're good.
Yeah, as long as you're under a certain amount of like grain and all that used, because that's how we got away with. We did a blend, this similar situation. We blended like 40% of a beer into a cider, so it was like all oats, and just kind of like wanted to make a super thick, creamy cider kind of, and we blended it. But there was like all these weird stipulations that we had to go by.
Isn't it crazy how you guys just want to like create and do your thing, and you have to like look out for these.
Well, even like in Jersey, we can't distill, so you can't like making an Eisbach is not legal in New Jersey, which just seems silly to me because it's still beer, you know.
Meanwhile, in PA, they have distillery, winery, cidery, breweries that are all just one license.
One thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
In Jersey, if you go to a brewery, don't you have to take a tour or something? Like it's like you have to.
Mandatory, yep.
Yeah, but you just do the card. Don't lie.
Well, so yeah, but our space is open. So when you walk in the front door, the brew house is like right in front of you over a half wall. So like you can see all the equipment.
I know there was one Jersey brewery that designed it so you had to walk to the bathroom to walk by like the tanks to like go to the bathroom, so that like counted as a tour. I don't know.
Yeah. It has to be before you drink though. So apparently you have to go to the bathroom before you can have a beer. But I think it'll be interesting to see if that changes with all the new social distancing stuff. Like, how do I give you a tour of my brew house while staying 6 feet away from you?
Yeah.
So,
have you had any issues with New Jersey just in general during this entire pandemic?
I mean, they still exist, so yeah.
I mean, so you chose poorly where to put your brewery. I'm sorry.
So it's interesting, actually. The one thing we're seeing probably impacts you guys, well, at least you, Andy, as well, is that they're letting retailers return all their beer, cider, anything that's out of code, and they're pushing all the onus back on the breweries, and it's just really unfortunate that the liquor lobby and the restaurant lobby is bigger than our lobby. So if it's out of code, they can just return it. So it puts us in this awkward position of if we accept it, we're out of business because we just gave you all of our money, and if we don't accept it, you're not going to buy our products potentially if other people do. So
but wait.
That's
So
a Jersey thing, by the way.
it is, but in the stimulus 4 package, there is law that has been written by the National Brewers Association to give you 100 points back on every keg.
Yeah,
goes
as
out
a
of code.
tax credit. Now, Faraz, can I pay your paycheck with a tax credit I'm going to get next year?
No way.
No.
And that's exactly the argument I've made against the Brewers Association. I know they have good intents and they have our interest in mind, but realistically, for us smaller guys, I need the cash today, not a tax credit next year.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be there next year, if I have to refund all these kegs out in distro. So it's a really unfortunate thing. I think New Jersey's been great other than that. They've given us freedoms we didn't have before. They've tried to work with us, but I think that kind of, unfortunately, is the bigger lobby throwing their weight around.
Yeah, each state is different with that because we're in so many different states and so many different areas, all those laws are different. The only thing that we're very fortunate for this, but our cider has at least a 1-year shelf life. And
so
I have older stuff in the fridge from almost 3 years ago now of farm floor, and we test batch everything like crazy amounts. And underneath all the cans, we have a Best By date, we have a whole bunch of different dating codes on it and stuff. But we want to see how long it actually lasts, and but we're kind of constrained because there's a Best By. If you have breweries that have product without a Best By on it, they can't. I mean, it's kind of a gray area to send it back. They can do it by.
I mean, like your old brewery.
Here's the unfortunate thing: is they said any beer, any product purchased between, and they gave dates, can be returned. It has nothing to do with your codes.
That's true.
So if they just decide, you know what, that keg of craft cider I have sitting around, I'm not going to get the tap, I'd rather have my $100 and whatever many dollars back.
Yeah.
You know, that goes back to the distributor, who can then push it back on you as I've got all this product I don't need. So it's just an unfortunate.
Aren't the distribution contracts set up so that?
How are they allowed to do that?
Yeah, there's distro contracts set up where a brewery would pay half and wholesaler pays half.
It would be a 50-50. Yeah.
Wholesaler.
There is. I think this whole pandemic kind of falls outside the nature of many contracts. You know,
well, PA, man, it's tougher to get out of a contract than it is to get out of a marriage.
Yeah, in PA, yeah, it's nearly impossible. It's almost impossible.
Jersey's not much different. But you know what I mean? Like everything was designed, so now you're stuck as the producer. If you make the distributor eat it, the whole thing or more of it than what they think they should, are you now the less preferred brand to push?
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? So there's all this politics that lie under the financial ramifications that lie under law, and it's just such a complex beast that, you know, it's hard to make decisions, you know, because sometimes you're making a decision based on what you need financially, and sometimes it's looking forward, and you have to kind of blend the two, you know, to protect yourself today so you're there for tomorrow, and hopefully they still want to sell your beer.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we have had, one thing that's in our best interest right now is we only do about 15% of our total production is draft.
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky bitch.
Yeah, we were probably about 70%. So
70% package.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of breweries, and this is what I get concerned about is what's going to happen to the breweries that base their revenue out of tap rooms and permanent lines because they're local. That's the shame of this whole thing.
So I see that, and I would also add to that, anybody that just went through or is in the process of an expansion. Yeah. You know, there's breweries that I'm friends with that just dropped a whole bunch of money on this huge new production facility, tasting room, all that, or in the process of building it. What do you do then?
Yep.
Well,
we're in that
look at even like a large brewery like Night Shift. Night Shift just grenaded a massive brewery in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And they literally said in the release statement, we did this to make sure that Night Shift stays alive. Not that, like, you know, we don't think that this is good or anything like this. But just
that was a huge
facility. That was
it
massive
200,000 barrels?
Facility.
It was 30,000 of theirs that was scalable to 200,000 that they had already said that they were willing to contract if they had the demand. And then they had even licensed and paid for their own ID to be their own distributor in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
it's tough. But look at brands that you think that are pretty strong that have recently expanded. Even, you know, we were talking about Treehouse. Is that model still sustainable?
No.
You know, Line Life there and that huge facility they have, is that sustainable on whatever they may or may not owe? You know, I think of other places that have recently opened, and that's the scary part.
I think a lot of the wait in line places are going to have to do delivery because Tired Hands did that.
That's what I was going to bring up.
They're delivering like crazy right now.
You could bring it up.
Yeah.
Is that a source? I'm sorry.
Tired Hands just opened up their restaurant, St. Woners, too.
In downtown, right?
2 weeks. Yeah, right in downtown Philly. Yeah. Fishtown, I'm pretty sure is where it was.
Oh,
but
that's right.
Literally 2 weeks prior to this whole thing happening. My girlfriend lives down in Manayunk, and we were actually going to go down there and go get food. And we blew it off because it was like opening week, and then they had one other week, and it was like, it's going to be a fucking shit show. Let's not go. It's going to be crazy busy. And then the following week, everything was closed for COVID-19. It was like, fuck, really? So, like, they're now, like, they just remodeled this old-ass spot in Fishtown. Probably cost God knows how much, $500,000 at least. And now they're just sitting there eating it, delivering beer and selling to-go beer out of a spot that they could have just, you know, sold out of. Not that anybody's worried about time.
Yeah, why do you think he's delivering beer? It's because he's got to pay them rent.
Get him a product somewhere. But I mean, we just had a new brewery open in town 2 months before this that wasn't doing distros, all tasting room. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Can't last anymore.
Yeah, you know, it's. But how do you get shelf space if you don't have it? You know, how do you make all these relationships when you can't go see somebody?
Well, I think at this point you don't. Honestly, you're like, unfortunately, fucked, because you talk to retailers and you talk to distributors, and nobody is taking in new clients right now. They're taking in what is selling well, which is honestly a lot of flagships and a lot of things that people weren't necessarily buying prior to this. But
I'll disagree. Jersey just got all kinds of new stuff. We just got Alchemist this week. We just got Other Half this week. We just got, it's all the big guys.
Big name guys. But if I'm saying as a newcomer on the scene, you're not entering that. You're not entering that space and getting anything. Those people for sure don't have to worry about. But I'm saying you opened up the last 4, 5, 6 months, and now you have to shift gears to, oh, I need to fucking get some shelf space. You're completely fucked. Those retailers are not bringing in new people. They're bringing in people that are trusted brands and know that shit's gonna fly off the shelf because they are making so much money right now. Why would they not continue to
But I'll say, and Faraz, you can like stay quiet on this one because it's your company. But
you're perfect for this conversation, actually, JJ.
As far as distro goes, they have brands that will sell, and they refuse to bring in inventory. Their inventory levels are terrible because they are tight and they are thin. And you can stick a piece of coal up their ass; it'll turn into a diamond in a freaking week. Yeah, it is terrible. And every other wholesaler is like, we got to take advantage right now. Distro's hot. Get it through distro because the bars are down. We got to sell beer. Meanwhile, they're sitting on their ass and they're tight. They're tight.
I know exactly what you're talking about, JJ. And I literally off screen, I will tell you exactly who you're talking about, but I'll text it to you. But
so Andy,
note, Josh, I the one thing I will say is I'm getting programming right now with and key accounts, and that's what I do. But we just opened up Chicago, and we're getting in because of a chain, and we're launching. We literally just had our launch meeting this morning for New Hampshire, and we're going to pick up chains with them as well. I think it's depending on the state. Pennsylvania is such a unique state for that, Josh, that there's so many. One, it's an older system. The entire system within Pennsylvania alcohol is old. It's way old. Plus, it's run by a union that doesn't want to lose its grounding. So you have to take that into consideration. And that I think in Pennsylvania in itself, JJ, you were talking about a specific chain that's doing that, and you're right, they are. They're just like, close it down. Doesn't matter. Let's just see if we can get through this. Yep. Their margins on alcohol aren't the same margins on that roll of toilet paper. So what's going to be important if it's a grocery chain? If you're because we don't have any other chains that are going to carry it. Your other places are other places you can get it in large quantities, and often is you where you're at and some other people. And it's
so Andy.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to finish. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's interesting to see that Pennsylvania is so clenched with some of these things, but it's not the only state. We have 3 or 4 states that are just like, you know what, we're just going to hold back on our quantities, and it's because they at the distributor level they have to pull back because they have on-premise team and off-premise team.
Okay, so
what I was gonna say is, so we basically redirected our entire business model. Like we were in 32, like we are in 32 states, but obviously it makes more sense to sell shit directly out of the brew space. So we've basically stopped sending beer out there. But like they were just like so tight knit, sending beer out to all of these states, just like now, and it was like kind of towards the beginning of this too, where it was like, now we don't really have space for stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. And now we've moved everything to just can releases out of the actual brewery in Connecticut. And it's like, why go that route? I mean, we're in a different situation than most.
Who are you with in Connecticut? if I may.
So we're brewing out of 12%
Nice.
in North Haven.
Cool.
So we're
Great
doing all
guys.
of our releases out of Connecticut. But prior to this, we're distroing internationally. I don't even know how many countries we're in, but like whatever. Like we're at the point where it's like, all right, cool. Like these places are getting this is getting this, but now it's all kind of come back home and everything's getting released first through Connecticut, and if it makes it past Connecticut, it'll go out to distro. But like I think Pennsylvania ended up getting like 10 cases for us. It might have even been less of our last release.
Midnight Snack.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pre-order, so I mean the pre-order came in, so that's what it is.
Yeah, but you guys pre-ordered Fog too, and you got none.
Yeah.
He doesn't look bitter about that at all.
He got so mad. It's not my choice. I wish you guys would get it. I would rather send it.
Wait.
But it's the
Hey, hold on. One, Trevor, we're cutting all this. And once again, because we're cutting all this, and Mike,
Hold on, JJ. Hold on 1 second. Faraz, what the hell are you doing?
Yo, Faraz, seriously,
chips
yeah.
or something. All right.
I'm drinking more. I just needed something to drink, and it's the only thing I got cold.
No,
Fucking up everybody
You
talking.
were digging for a hotter hot sauce than last week's or something. I know what you're looking for.
You wish.
you know,
You wish, bitches.
last week we talked about this. After last week's show, I thought about samples, and years ago, reps used to come in and they would put stacks of samples on your desk. You'd sit down and drink them with the rep and talk about the beer. It doesn't happen anymore, Josh. And the reason I bring this up is if Midnight Snack was brought to me and Faraz and if we drank that together and I was told, and I didn't even have to know it was a 5-hour boil. I could tell that mouthfeel on that freaking beer was amazing. If I would have drank that beer, I would have said, you know what, I'll pre-order the $120 case. But the $120 case without knowing what it tastes like, it sucks. It sucks making that decision.
Yeah, I know. There's so much on the market, and it's a gamble. You don't know what you're getting. And I agree, because I've been in this industry for 15 years, working in bars, restaurants, and that was the same thing. Whenever I ordered anything, reps came in, vodka, beer, fucking whatever it was, wine, they would come in and be like, yo, let's sit down, let's try this, let's talk about it. And that was the plan. And like, I don't know when beer got away from that. I think just with the exclusivity of everything, that it's hard to, how do you send a rep out when you have a new beer coming out every single week? So I think that's what changed a lot of it. But
Mike,
and from our side,
3 threes,
right.
You're in with 3 threes, Mike. You got to beat the street, and you got to talk.
So we do. I mean, right now we're kind of strapped for beer. We don't. Pre-COVID, we were kind of strapped for beer, so we weren't really pushing that too much. But the hard part becomes with the way the culture is now. Everybody wants something new. Our yield on a batch might be 80 cases. How many can I give out to reps to sample? You know what I mean? When it's already moving, and we're in that weird position where we're not quite big enough to have a sales rep, but it kind of pigeonholes us into the styles we can make. You know, if I want to make a Maybach or something weird that isn't going to sell itself based on being hazy, juicy New England or fruited lactose sour, we're kind of stuck. It's hard to do.
But I think that's a perception issue. I think that's a perception of the market issue, and I think if you focused on selling your beer to the right retailers, I think it would be a better decision.
Well, don't get me wrong. We're not necessarily struggling right now, but I look forward to, as we grow, being able to do different things. But you know, if I want to make my personal pet project, I'd love to make like a 4% just fest beer. You know, something really clean, really nice, but it's hard to hit those price points of the big German guys that everybody wants. You know, so you tasting it becomes key.
Josh, that looks amazing. 4% fest beer. Josh, I want to make an 18% beer that will just knock your socks off.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to make that too, but that's a much.
I would love to
that's
put
the
it
easier
out.
sell. Right, Josh, would you agree? That's the easier sell, the 18% adjunct stout over an American-made fest beer.
Yeah, but
100%.
harder
I mean,
margin.
with especially our name too, like Abomination, we're coming into it like everybody's expecting this, big ass beer, but like, what do I want to make? I would love to make some like 4% lagers. Like, hell yeah, like that's our shit. That's all I drink anymore, honestly. Like, I love that style. Shut up, Faraz. Fuck off.
You're such a boy. All right, hold on. First, we're talking about reps. So holler at your boy. Second. All right. So.
So we're talking about reps? JJ, ask Faraz why he didn't come in and drop off a 4-pack of Midnight Snack and sit there and drink it with you.
Yeah, why? I don't know.
Anyway, back to this conversation. I agree. I would love to make 4% beers, but what people are buying, unfortunately, it's not. That's
exactly.
And now people are buying even more. Like, nobody has the experience of going out and doing anything anymore. So, like, I feel like people are buying those like kind of crazier beers that were a big deal a couple years ago, and started to fall off. But like. Exactly. Everybody wants that experience. Nobody can experience anything right now, so now they can buy a 4-pack and experience something crazy at their house. So, like, that is what's selling right now. Double IPAs are killing it. If I came out with a fucking lager right now, it would sit.
I don't know. I've got a couple in the tanks right now. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right, please do.
I'll send you some. I'll send you some.
Let's collab on the lager if you're selling them too, because I could definitely. Oh my god!
You're going into the best season for
real nice
lager.
clean beer.
Faraz, don't worry, you're not getting any.
I know.
We won't send any your way, Faraz. Fuck off.
I'm sorry. Who? You know what? Okay, ready? Cut. Who's the
We made one.
Circle back to samples here. Because,
JJ just wants free samples, guys.
No, bullshit.
Wait, he's got his $10,
sell people.
You have to have people try things. Because we're in a situation. I'm in a perfect situation. If I go in and I sell into a liquor store, and I'll tell you, this happened. You can keep it on. Cape Cod, all right? We ship stuff out. I go into the retailer for the first time, right? And I'm like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. He's just like, your product, you have to send us samples. I put it over in the cider section, and I had a half dozen people freak out and bring it back to me. I'm like, why? And he goes, because it's sour. I'm like, okay. So the sample allows you to educate. Say again, I'm sorry.
And that ties into the question I want to ask JJ.
Doesn't know what it is.
Correct.
But JJ, if I give you one sample, right, you're the one informed person. In your opinion, does that carry more power than us coming and doing a sampling? Because that's something we get requests for.
Oh, if Trevor and I, or any of the staff along with us, can educate a customer on the product, it is worth $1 million.
JJ, so right now you got one case of Midnight Snack. Would it be worth me coming in there and talking to you?
It wouldn't be worth you coming. It wouldn't be worth you coming. All I need is listen. All I needed to do was taste it and listen to what this pitch is.
So you're saying like one can would be good with like a description. I'm just fucking around, but like it's hard for smaller size guys to do that.
No,
especially
Josh,
now.
What size batches are you doing? Because I'm guessing it's significantly larger than mine.
A lot.
We're 10 barrel batches. So if I yield 80 cases on a double IPA, it's a lot. It's a good day. And
right now we're doing 30. But yeah, that is huge. But like we were in a weird situation where we're sending a lot of this shit out all over the country.
Right.
And now we're like bringing it home and releasing it. So like we're in, it's bigger, but it's like a similar situation. Like we're in survival mode as well. Like we have to sell this shit out. We're self-distroing all over Connecticut into all these places plus 32 states. So it's like, okay, so we want to sell this beer. We want to send out. We're going to do this beer one time. So we're going to send out, we probably have, 900 different whatever distributors, liquor stores that are selling our shit on just the East Coast at this point. So we're going to send out 900 cans and just, here you go.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try this to make sure that this sells.
There's a third of your product to sell 2/3 of your product, and now you're
It
now
doesn't.
you're not a profitable business.
It's hard for a small batch brewery to do that. Like all of these beers
That's
are
why
realistically one-time
That's your
release.
biggest hurdle in a store like ours. That's your biggest hurdle. I can't get behind it if I don't know what it is. I just can't.
Education. It's all about being educated on every one of the products, and it's nearly impossible these days. But this is what beer or alcohol in general needs the same thing that the Food Network did for restaurants. Because before Food Network, you had restaurants where they had stuff in the menu, and people were like, I don't know what the hell that is. What is? My favorite thing was quinoa. People could butcher the shit out of it. It's a tiny little fucking grain, but there was no education behind it. So alcohol sales needs a channel like Food Network or the Alcohol Network
or Arrogance and Ales.
Or Arrogance and Ales to educate people and lead them to a better understanding of what they're ingesting into their bodies. Because once you're an educated consumer, you consume differently. It's an unreversible process.
Andy, you're totally right. But I think the challenge that alcohol and beer and cider face is that we're taking the same raw materials and turning it into something vastly different. Everybody's going to cook quinoa, and it's still recognizable.
Quinoa, it's all quinoa.
Yeah,
no, but here's the difference, and it's funny that right now this call is 2 salespeople, 2 brewers, and 2 retailers. And when you say that we have to do samples, it's not going to happen anymore because the breweries that everybody wants are too small, like Josh and like Mike are saying, to give you samples. But it takes people like me and Andy who are educated, involved reps. You can't be apathetic anymore as a sales rep.
The way the market is, especially with, people using distributors, and they're instilling this trust into people like Faraz to sell that product to you, where it's not possible to
and
send
Josh,
samples out anymore.
Most incentives gets the sale. And I'm a firm believer on anyone that verbalizes passion can create a sale. That being said, if you don't have the right product for the right retail, it's not going to sell.
Well, but Andy, wouldn't you also agree that Faraz is sort of the outlier? Like there is a lot of reps that aren't as invested, that aren't
100%
knowledgeable, that aren't as willing to learn about the brands that they sell. They're just, hey, I have to sell 5 of these. Let me figure out how I'm going to do that.
Oh yeah, they got to hit goals, incentive.
And I get it.
They're sending emails from the bar.
Exactly.
But Mike, how many states are you distributed in?
Just in 2, Jersey and PA.
Okay. So you're self-distroing, right, in New Jersey?
No, we're with 100 in Jersey.
Which is
okay. Who do you use? And you use 31st and PA. So you have that piece of shit for us.
Hunterdon is, I guess I can't say that. They're great. They're really great. You can't play anybody. They're awesome, man. I love working with them.
But you know what? We see pockets with Hunterdon. There's areas where we're really strong, and there's areas where really, I think there's a lot of room, opportunity for growth. And meeting with the different reps, you see differences in just the individual people and their outlook, their motivation, their level of interest in not just our brand, but I think beer, craft spirits, craft cider in general. And the amount that they want to put into knowing about what they're selling is different.
And time has a lot to do with it. Time has a lot to do with it too. Like you're going in to talk to somebody, and especially right now, if they don't have the time, you're not going to get the time. And you got to have the time.
Yes. As a salesperson, you need to be.
Roz, I always give you time. You know that.
Yeah. You have to figure out when's the right time for the retail, because and that's by taking notes. I mean, everybody. I'm sure, Faraz, you have notes on every one of your accounts where you're like, all right, best time to see JJ is Tuesday at 2, whatever. And that's going to change rep to rep, right? Mike, you're going to have some reps that are good at that and some reps that are bad at that.
Oh,
but you're also going to get the rep that's so immersed, like a Faraz, who's immersed in the culture and wants to be part of the culture and part of the process to create all these opportunities for customers to get products that they normally wouldn't be able to get.
Faraz is very consistent when he comes in. You're right. You are, Faraz. You know that.
Yeah.
I agree, but I don't think that I'm special. I'd love to toot my own horn.
Special.
There's no person.
There's
Well, yeah, I'm special in a different way.
But Faraz, you know what? We have other reps that have been selling quote unquote our product for 2, 3, 4 years and don't know any brands that we make. How invested can you be? You know, we do a lot of stuff on a rotational basis, and they're not. You know what I mean? And there's reps like that. They just, I have from Abomination, and here's the spreadsheet, and they're reading it off with you. And it's their.
There's bad employees everywhere. I just think that the difference becomes is that, I mean, again, you're right. I'm a little different in the fact that when I started as a retailer, and I loved all beer. And it's my hobby.
You didn't love all beer.
Career.
You didn't like sours. Shut the fuck
Well, yeah,
up.
because you only made me sours, and I was the only person who had the balls to tell you they sucked. That's not my fault.
You just didn't like sours.
The newer fruited sours with lacto and pedio are okay, but the old school
Josh thought he was Dreerfontein over here. Like, no, I'm sorry.
There's a reason why we stopped brewing old school sours, and that was because we have clean rooms now that propagate yeast in the right way.
No, JJ.
Didn't stop brewing.
You're a child.
Sours.
You're a child with the sours.
Bullshit.
You are.
I mean, there's whole breweries making their living on it. It's
Funkatorium.
There's some awesome ones.
In Nashville. Everything they do is old school.
Referend,
yeah, I was just about to say the guys in New Jersey, Referend.
Yeah, Referend, Kelly Green,
man.
Muckraker. There's a few of them.
Kelly Grant. Yeah, I always forget about those guys. They're fucking awesome too.
Did you have the sour they did where they forged like tree leaves from somebody's backyard? It was one of the coolest beers I've ever had. It was so out there.
Yeah,
How do you remember that? That was at AC Beer Festival. How do you remember that?
Oh, I have a bottle of it sitting in the fridge. And I had it. I was there like 2 months ago. We brewed a collab with them. New Jersey Craft Beer organized a big collab there. It was supposed to get released at AC Beer Fest, which has been canceled. So I think it's getting thrown in barrels with their wild yeast culture.
What about like Hermit Thrush?
Yep, that's another good one.
We're doing a collab with them. It looks like it's going to be down the road now, but
or Oxbow, the Guard. Yep. I mean, there's plenty of good ones.
The Guard, look at you for
that. Jester thing.
If you don't like the taste of cilantro and you have salsa that may or may not have cilantro in it, you're still not going to like cilantro. So
agreed.
You're just not.
Yeah,
you're looking.
Tastes like stink bugs.
but there's so many other sour bugs besides Brett.
Yeah, we use an Omega yeast blend that's been pretty fucking awesome.
I mean, what we should do, Josh, is go cultivate some from all the wine grapes and blueberry fields and do something ridiculous.
Let it sit.
Yeah, can we? Fuck yeah, let's do that.
Do it
Why
like
not?
1600.
Can Faraz sell it? Can JJ sell it?
Who gives a shit? Fuck them, Mike. We'll do this on our own. I'll sell it. We don't need them. Fuck it. We'll brew it up in
Trevor can drink
it all. We don't need them
all.
anyway. They don't even get Abomination anyway. They're all butthurt about it. We'll just fucking brew it up in Connecticut.
We're not sending them anything anyway.
Bro.
Sorry,
I have a question. For everybody here. So what do you think makes people buy odd products to drink? Is it curiosity, or is it because they want to experience something new?
2 reasons: the rep or Untapped. That about it.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about the buyer, the account level
the buyer, the
or
consumer,
the customer?
Because we're all customers as well. If you're buying something that's strange, you're like, wow. Are you buying it because you're curious, or are you buying it because you just want something new? What's
I think the answer depends on the audience. I think, somebody like JJ's, he's not buying it for himself. He's buying it because he thinks he has somebody he can sell it to.
Well, I don't know about that. We've experienced something totally different. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a gimmick for us. That's
what you're buying it for. It's gimmick.
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 That's a gimmick.
You did.
Andy, I think that question. I think
Where's
that
my
question
phone?
is better
where's my
as a like two-parter, as in pre and post.
all
Coronavirus.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There's
As we've gone 100% curbside through our app, and push notifications and emails and different ways to market on our app, we've experienced a different buying pattern than we have in the store.
it's more educated, right?
Oh, the buying pattern is totally different.
So JJ, are you noticing in your buying tendencies that you're tending to bring less new SKUs in because it takes time to upload them?
Opposite.
Bringing more.
I'd say it's
Buying
a reversal
everything
at this point.
because everything's been selling. It's insane.
Hmm.
Stuff you never would have guessed would sell before, like it sells on the app.
But
I think
our
people
app has AI. It has
don't
artificial
do that.
intelligence. So it will recommend things that is known to sell with other things.
Gotcha.
People are taking the time to read more things, though, too. If you're
Correct.
going online to it, you're looking through and you're reading what's in it. You may, I know what Amarillo hops are. I like that. Or you're getting a more educated purchase. They're not doing it visually necessarily. They're doing it through understanding what they're looking at, because they're looking at it differently. They're not looking at it as a solid packaged item. They're looking at it as a picture with a description. So depending on the description, it may be good.
Andy, you got to realize when you walk into our store and you go up and down the aisles, it's an overwhelming.
But JJ, you can't do that anymore, can you? Can you just walk into your store?
We can. We've chosen not to. So
Gotcha.
when you walk up and down the aisles in a real life, let's say, it's an
When
overwhelming
this isn't.
experience. So you're looking at a lot of labels in a very short period of time. When you're on the app and you're searching things, it's a more comforting experience, and people have time to make a decision. So the app and the website has changed our model completely.
Which I think I've asked you this before, but are you planning on implementing those things into just being the new normal?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's good for the industry.
So JJ, where do you see the post-COVID buying tendencies, business model to be? Being that you're saying that the buying tendencies of your customers have completely changed, where do you see it landing somewhere in the middle?
Yeah. No,
Probably
but it's somewhere in the middle, I would imagine.
when we started, JJ, what was it? How many subscribers do we have on the app? 500, 600?
No, it was about 1,200.
Was it 1,200? All right, now we're up to over almost 6,000 subscribers.
Wow, really?
Yep.
That's insane.
Just the past
That's a lot of
Trevor,
people.
Trevor, do you see people coming in like your regulars, hitting the app the same way that they came in looking for the new stuff?
Some of our regulars and a lot of new people that I don't even know where these people are coming from. JJ looks a lot. I don't pay as much attention, but he likes to look at where the people are buying from. And I don't know, JJ, where were some of the towns you saw people that were like
Slatington down towards Philly, like
it's crazy. Like people will drive, 40 minutes to come pick up stuff curbside. It's
Wow. And they're going past a lot of D's on the way up to you, too.
yeah.
If they're coming from south up to you guys, they're missing, well, they're not that they're missing them. I shouldn't say that. They're skipping over bigger people like Tome and some beverages right there on the way up. If they're passing that to get to you, it's because you have a better selection or a different retail experience.
different avenue to sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think a lot of D's and by the way, PA is the only place really that has D's that are left. New York has a couple, but not many. But D's in PA are totally different now because of all this. You're either succeeding or you're on your way out. And it's basically, when everything transitioned over from case to 12, 12 to 4, 4 to single, if you will, everybody that was progressive, you see them thriving in this. Everybody that was like, I don't want any part of that, they've got the shovels ready because they're digging the hole. It's because people didn't see the opportunity that they were presented at the time.
Well, I don't know if it's about, because you really never see an opportunity. You just got to grasp what the technology has to offer. Because honestly, you can't predict COVID, right? You can't predict it.
No.
But we were set up for it.
Correct.
And we were set up for it.
Well, and it's because you took the chance. And I don't discount, like, if you're an older D and it's, you're on your way out anyways type thing, or you're like, you know what, I'm looking for retirement. This kind of kicked you out automatically. But if you're a younger D and you're all about, being in it for the next 20, 25 years, and you didn't grab onto this early, then you're just being short-sighted in your business.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, it's a shame to see it happen, but I look at some of these retail spots outside of the state of Pennsylvania, and they're doing so many things to encourage sales that are thinking outside the box. And I look at PA sometimes and I go, where is this? Why aren't there more people like you guys and some other retailers?
Some of you might laugh at this, but I reached out to Lou Bryson this week. You all know who Lou Bryson is, right?
Yeah.
No.
I messaged him.
Mike doesn't know Lou Bryson.
Yeah. I messaged him on Facebook and said, you may want to look at Link Beverages and how we transformed in a day to curbside with 0 problems. And refer that to the PLCB's attempt at curbside.
Yeah, I haven't been out to see. How are they doing that with the liquor stores? Because is it
horrible?
Yeah.
Apparently you have to phone in your order and then they call you back or something. It's a real process. I don't know.
Seems like rework.
I knew you could order online, but it was like a weird cachet system that you had to get in line to order online, and everybody was having issues. And then it was taking 4 or 5 days to get anything fucking delivered.
Another reason why the government shouldn't be in the liquor business.
Well, exactly. Why the fuck does Pennsylvania do that shit? It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't even make sense. No one else does that shit. Pennsylvania is one of the few states that's no, you want liquor? You want vodka? You got to get through us.
It's 1 in 7, if I remember. But you have to remember.
I think that's probably slimmer now. When is that? It
probably is now. I know it's still Alabama, Utah, and us, which doesn't make me very.
Utah is actually getting more lenient. I could see them getting ahead before Pennsylvania, but
it
doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
You have to also forget that. Don't forget that because of our unbelievably archaic laws, it has given Pennsylvania a beer culture, almost unlike any other state. If you look at the states that have beer culture, really it's New York, it's Massachusetts, it's California, and it's Pennsylvania.
What beer culture do you think that we have?
Pennsylvania has more breweries than any other state in the country.
And any other state.
That's fine.
That's fine. Well, but here's the thing.
I don't think that makes it beer culture, though.
Yeah, I agree.
It does because here's the thing.
I mean,
the liquor stores. Here's the thing. So in Jersey, in Delaware, in every other state that's around us, you walk into a store that sells alcohol. They sell 90% liquor, 10% beer.
Right.
Most of them. Don't lie. It is the truth. I've done it.
Not New York.
You
can't have You can't have
Right.
spirits in with beer and wine.
You can't have spirits. Yeah, you're right. No, not New York. But there's no culture. Whereas in Pennsylvania, before, and this is also going to be my old school belief, is that in the old days, before these could be bottle shops, you had to actually give a shit about beer. And it was a very important thing, and it was special, and it was something small. That is a culture that isn't in other places. Whereas if you look at,
Dog's yelling.
yeah, I know. Sherlock,
Is that yours? Is that you, Faraz?
Yeah, it's me. Come here. Come tell Josh hello. Come here. Give Daddy a boost. You want to wave hi?
Buddy.
You want to wave hi?
You going night-night?
Oh my God, he's so fucking big.
Dude, it's
He is
9:30.
big, right?
Holy
Then I bet
shit,
he-
Faraz.
Yo,
He's the
he's
same
way
size
late.
as you, dude.
This is. He's not the same size as me, Josh.
All right.
Stop laughing, man.
Oh, is that my wife?
Yes, it is.
Blow a kiss for me.
It is our wife.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. That's from Josh. Besides,
Oh my
she
God,
wants it from
Faraz.
Andy more
Holy
than you, Josh.
Shit.
Maybe.
You said baby. Thanks. Wow.
There she is. Hey, you.
I can't hear anything.
He got huge, man. That's crazy.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Lost
how
my
are
train
ya?
of thought now.
Look at that guy, huh? He's a superstar. He's on camera already.
Already,
Yes.
man. Ready.
Say hi.
Oh, we got a cat sighting too. Look at that.
Andy, you could.
It's a whole family thing.
So you can be Buzz Lightyear, and Daddy can be.
Tell him. I like beer. Tell him.
Am I the only one that doesn't have a cat? Anybody else?
I don't have it.
Oh, I don't. I have a husky. He's just like a what? I forget.
Wait,
what
Josh,
we
you
were
have a
talking
husky
about.
too?
Because
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
No way.
JJ,
Let
you
me
have a
see.
dog.
Mama.
Huh?
JJ, you have a dog too?
All I can see is Faraz right now, but I'm more interested in Mike's cat.
You have a-
Look at Mike's
I
cat.
don't
Look
know.
at
Oh,
that.
sorry.
I feel bad. that
Oh
I'm
my
always-
God!
Yeah, he's sleeping on the couch.
All right, hold on. I gotta go find my dog real quick.
Uh,
He's probably mad at me, doing some weird shit in my house. So, oh, here he is, actually.
Is yours a beast, Josh?
He is.
Loki boy.
Loki's a beast.
Loki boy.
Oh, he looks big.
Yeah, he's big. He's like 75 pounds. He's a big fucking husky.
So
And so bad.
So here's
And so
the
bad.
funny
You know
story,
me.
right? So mine's 40 pounds, and he knows how to open a 40, like 42.
Shut up. Give Daddy a boost.
He
Shut up.
knows how to open a refrigerator. So I have a keg of beer sitting in front of my refrigerator to keep my dog out.
Does your dog love beer? Because-
He's kind of indifferent, but he did go
My
through
dog's a
a
booze
beer
hound.
schnapps the other day.
Sean, come here.
Mine is obsessed. If I open sour beer, Loki is obsessed with sour beer for whatever
Come on,
reason.
Daddy.
If I'm
Your
just
dog's
drinking
name is
normal
Loki?
beer, he doesn't care. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a bottle of beer schnapps that a local distillery gave me, and he opened it, uncorked it, ripped the plastic off of
way.
it, and drank half of it.
holy crap.
Do you have
Yeah.
a video of that? Because
No,
that
I
is
came home and found the
Oh
thing.
my God.
It was a brand new bottle that I got. It was still like, new cork in it, still had the plastic over the cork. And I came home and it's in the middle of my living room floor, open.
It's a sour, or he'd drink it.
No cork in it.
It's a sour. Only the dog will drink it.
Yeah, right?
My dog loves sours. Maybe it's a
Well, he
husky
won't
thing.
drink
He's
sour. He'll drink
obsessed
all the
with it.
rest.
Wow.
No, oh really? No, Loki loves sours. You know what Loki's favorite brewery is?
What's that?
Hudson Valley.
Oh, get out. That's
He's
all
such
right.
a
Seriously.
snob, that bitch.
It's so weird. He's such a fucking bougie ass snob. I open Abomination. He's like, fuck, what's that garbage? I open up some Hudson Valley. He's like, literally like, face is just in the can. He's ready to go. He's like, yeah, what is this? He loves it. It's so funny. Like, that is my dog's favorite brewery, Hudson Valley. You
That's
guys
too
know
funny.
anybody?
There
that's
are neighbors,
dog beer. But
Newburgh Brewing,
loves it.
Hudson Valley, and Industrial Arts. Those are all
Oh, nice.
They're all
Wow, you
within,
got some
like,
really
3
good
miles.
neighbors.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ace. Banging.
Yeah, I love, Industrial arts, man. I don't know, man. Wrench just makes
Wrench?
me
I
happy.
was just about to say, Wrench is fantastic.
I want to know how they make it and they're able to sell it at that price.
Oh.
It's such a good
Dude,
beer. There's
how
so
do they
many
create
hops
that
in
kind of
it.
margin? Yeah, because those ingredients are way more expensive.
What's their
Yeah.
price point?
I think, like in Jersey, they're like $12.99 a 4-pack.
Yeah, it's 13.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Exactly.
It's
They're
like
cheap.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What's the ABV? 7?
Yeah.
6, 7.
6.5, 7.
Do
It's
they have economy of scale?
How are they doing that?
Do they have some?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
They must.
Hey,
They must.
JJ, they're not that big.
Say again, JJ.
There's got to be some sort of economy of scale there.
They're not that big.
JJ, do you see?
They're really
JJ, do you see what we brew on?
Yeah.
It's probably bigger than Industrial Arts.
Double.
I just
It's at
don't
least
know.
double. It's at least
No,
double.
How
I'm
many
pretty
barrels
sure
do
they
you
got
guys doing, Josh?
at least a 30-barrel brew house based on.
Oh,
really?
they're above a 40
Yeah.
barrel system. They're way bigger than that.
But even still, like hops are what hops cost, and
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
They have
don't
2
even
breweries.
get.
They have
Yeah.
2 breweries. They've
That's what I'm talking. Like scale doesn't matter.
And
Like,
that beer is-
I
that
just
beer is
don't
double
get it.
dry hopped, so you're not even harvesting yeast to like save the cost of yeast. It's a fresh pitch. You're growing up a pitch for
Yeah.
every beer.
I don't know how they're working on the margins. I really don't. Their price points, they should be the $15 to $16.99 a 4-pack.
And the
Make
beer
it make
totally supports it. The quality is completely there. The consistency
you-
is there.
But they
What
got
do
a
you think the
huge drop.
percentage of hopping they're doing though? Like per barrel? It's probably
I mean,
minimal.
Drinking wrench, I can't imagine it's much less than 2.5 or 3 pounds, and the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but per
Obviously-
barrel.
So, but if you're dry hopping at 2.5 to 3 pounds a barrel with Citra Mosaic, not exactly inexpensive hops, not the priciest.
But if you have a contract, you're.
Yeah, but my contract's not that much cheaper than market. It's
We're
not like
getting
it's.
Galaxy at 12% for like $16 a pound, I
Do
think.
you have some extra? I'll buy some.
I can. Yo, seriously, Mike, if you need some, hit me up.
Yeah.
Like, not joking. I'll get you some.
See, we're solving
sure.
all kinds of problems right now.
Yeah.
And you too, Andy. Like, no, we can get shit like that, Citra, any of that shit. Set up a collab. Let's
Yeah.
do something.
I've
I can
got
get you
extra
those
Citra.
hookups for sure. Because we have a ton of extra shit like that we are willing to just like. Well, 12%, not me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just gonna say this right out here now. But if you need hops, like we can get you decent cost hops.
Yeah. No.
I'll
we appreciate
facilitate it for sure.
On your
Where
end, how hard is it to get hops and grain right now? Is there any kind of, because from what I was hearing, that there's a domino effect with getting hops from Yakima at this point cross country. Is that still an issue? Is it?
I haven't seen any issues. Most of our stuff, our contract stuff's at Country Malt in New York,
Right.
so we don't really have any issues there. Grain's pretty good. I mean, there's a couple of hops that I'm seeing are difficult to get if you don't have a contract. You know, I think it's Citra and Mosaic usually are the two that are hard to get if you don't have a contract. But
I know
We've actually got
Citra, like 2019 was like crazy.
yeah,
That's-
I've got extra if that helps you guys. I'm assuming you've got more than you need. So
That
Wait,
was the
hold on.
best crop of Citra that I've ever smelt.
yeah.
Like it was unbelievable. Have you brewed anything with it?
We really don't use much Citra. I contracted before.
What? Really?
No, we contracted for a bunch of Citra before we went core with Back to Reality, which doesn't use Citra. So, well, of course they shoot me off. And actually, it was really good.
I'm telling you, we put out a beer that we put out like 2 years ago with Citra hops, and like that beer was really solid 2 years ago, whatever. This batch that we put out, it was like, holy fuck, this beer is on like another level. This
See,
2019 crop of Citra was unreal.
I
It
felt
was
that way about
literally unreal.
2018
It could be
Amarillo.
borderline cat piss.
Oh, with your cat
No,
piss. Just get a
Cat
full-
Piss is Mosaic. It's not Citra.
JJ,
Yeah,
go find
no,
a new background.
Citra was like, dude, this year's Citra was like a tangerine, like fucking just like the juiciest orange you've ever had. Like it was
You're telling me
It's
you
unbelievable.
made cat piss out of Citra?
a lot of those batches are mixed with Mosaic. A lot of those people
Yeah.
are mixing Citra Mosaic as
Yeah.
hop varietal.
But wait,
So you will get
here's
some
we can do
Capis.
we can do the
But
industrial.
I love Mosaic, and I love that Capis. So you guys can fuck off.
You too,
Wait, we can
but
do
I
the
mean,
industrial large pricing. Hold on. Mike, how many barrels annually?
for us,
Yeah.
we did like 1,000 last year.
Josh?
330, like I don't know, 3,000.
Okay. So they are contracting out of another place.
They just
And
opened
they-
a new facility.
It's Beacon. They're contracting out of Beacon.
That's
New York,
I just
right?
looked at the
That's-
article, yeah, and it
they're
said
right
they're
down the
going to
street.
brew 50,000 barrels.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how they're doing it at that price.
Well, they've
50,000. That would put them. That's gotta be.
Dude, there's no way that can't be right.
It said for 2020 it's 20,000. By 2021 they want to do 50.
Okay, want to do and actually do are two different things. You can write 3 threes wants to do 50,000 too. What's it mean?
Okay, but 20,000 is still a fucking number.
the facility that they have in Beacon is massive though. It's big.
No, I don't
Literally.
doubt that, but I mean, are they getting hops at half of what I'm paying for them? Do you think?
Probably not. I mean, even if
I expect that they're paying less. That would make sense to me.
They're probably paying less, but their contracts have to be super far out to get the lower pricing.
See, that's what's weird. So I just looked at contracts and like I can for what I'm being offered from Country Mall, it's the same price for the next 4 years for anything I want, regardless of quantity. If I want 10 pounds or I want 1,000.
Yeah, but they're getting it from Yakima, where they're
Probably.
getting the big guys.
Yeah, we're
like,
not.
okay,
Yeah, we don't contract enough for that.
I'm sure if you do a 3-year contract or a 5-year contract, you're gonna get some really good reduction. That being said, I still think they're trying to be very price conscious at their price point, because I know we have 3 brands. Graft is one of them, but we have another brand where we don't make the same margins as we do on all.
What are these other 3 brands?
We have Hudson North, which is a sweeter cider. It's 8 grams of sugar. And then we have Flora, which is the wine spritzer, which is awesome. We are in New York City, our distributor, we're number 1 wine product for our distributor in New York City. And we're with a large house.
But I mean, I guess that goes back to your business model. I mean, if you're going to buy that 40-barrel brew house or 50-barrel brew house with all that equipment, you got to be able to move the product.
Yeah.
So making a small margin on a lot of stuff is the way to survive. So
Well, yeah, exactly. You have to literally just pump out shit to make minimal profits.
That's when
exactly.
programming takes over, because you can pre-sell
volume has a
everything.
way of disguising and hiding ills. If you can pump volume, you're going to be able to hide a lot of ills for sure.
JJ, you look like you're in a strip club right now.
And he didn't invite us.
I'm down in the basement
No, JJ, you do present a good.
with some neon lights.
I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Carter's room looks like a strip club. Great.
There's even a pole in his room.
Wow.
But it's
I love it.
And I'm young.
a real pole.
All right. Well, hey guys, I hate to be the party pooper on this, but I have we have a sales meeting first thing in the morning, and I just realized it's 9:40. So I'm gonna say my goodbyes. I can't tell you how much I love doing this. You guys are awesome. I'm up at least 6. Thanks, Trevor. I'm up at least 6 because my kids they don't have school, so they're just like, there's got to be something going on because the sun's awake, so I am. So it's going to be an early day for me tomorrow. But Mike, Josh, feel free to reach out if you need anything.
I'll send them all your
I'll be
info.
coming in to see you soon. I have to go to Jersey as soon as everything opens up anyway, so I'll definitely stop over.
Definitely swing down.
Josh, we'd love to do something in PA with you guys. Faraz, I will definitely see you soon. Trevor and JJ, I would be amiss if after this, if I didn't drop off samples and spend a couple minutes shooting the shit with you and explaining what we do differently.
Andy,
I would be.
Andy,
I'd feel like a jerk.
And I'm on board. It's all good.
The other thing is, I didn't forget about our last conversation. We have somebody that actually wants to. There's somebody that's going to be doing samplings in PA for us, and I need to. Well, we need to have customers that can do that soon. So
Yeah.
But I appreciate the opportunity, everybody. This is awesome. You guys, this is one of the coolest conversations about beer I've had in a long time. So, and I sell cider. So, thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. So, have a great night. And
It's later.
Faraz, can you share my email address with everybody so they have?
I already will. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
I'll
Thank
send it
you.
to
I
them, and then
appreciate
I'll
it.
send you all theirs. Don't worry.
Awesome.
Thanks,
And if
Andy. It was good
Thanks,
talking to
Andy.
you, man.
If anybody needs any samples from me, please reach out. I mean, you know,
I definitely need lots of samples.
I need samples too, Andy. I'll
Done.
reciprocate if you want to send some back
Done.
and forth.
and
Yeah, we're
My
if anyone
happy
samples
to
needs
make that work.
any samples from my old, my past
Life.
life, let me know. I have. Dave,
Don't go there.
Quiet.
I have.
Keep it ending.
I
Quiet.
did a brief inventory. I still have 12 cases of 750s.
Wow.
So if you need anything, let me know.
Blasphemy? Do you have any blasphemy?
Oh yeah, I have at least a case and a half of blasphemy. I have
Blasphemy.
reserved
Blasphemy's for children.
I have full cases of 21st anniversary, 20th anniversary, 19th, 18th, 22nd, 23rd.
19 was fantastic.
That's a great. That was a mango wheat, and it was
Yeah.
11.
It was awesome.
11.1 ABV.
Wow, look at you go.
Yeah,
Holy
it's in
shit.
rain, unfortunately, and I apologize.
Do you have any OG Simcoe bottles?
He doesn't have pants on.
It's okay.
That's fine.
No, I don't have any Simcoe. I have a full case of Tango and Chain that I just found.
I actually went. I don't know what's happening on Faraz's end. It might be murder, but oh, Jesus Christ!
Something.
Even cats spooked.
The last time, well, the first time you guys brought back Simcoe, well, not you guys,
Prophecy.
but at Weyerbacher. Faraz, stop slamming that shit on the table, dude. That's real loud in my headphones, man. You guys, I actually was bringing some grain from Wallenpaw Pack and picking up a couple cans from Weyerbacher. It's maybe like 2.5 years ago.
What'd you get?
Well, it was the first time that Double Simcoe was actually getting packaged
In the
since, yeah, in the cans.
Here, it's over here.
First time ever.
Yeah.
Raz,
I love
what is
Double
happening in
Simcoe.
your
And
house, dude?
even in the powder can, it was great. But my favorite was in the 750 bottle, the old label.
Well, exactly. Literally when they bottle conditioned it. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah.
Because that was my fucking favorite. Like, that
It's
was one of my
still chunk.
favorite
It's
beers,
still chunk.
period. Who gives a shit, Faraz? I don't give a fuck if it's chunky. It tasted fucking amazing. Bro,
All about
I
the
don't
flavor.
care. That beer was seriously, at the time, unbelievable. Like, at the time in my beer experience, like, that beer was incredible. There was nothing like it out there. And then when I went back and got cans of it,
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to say it was disappointing, but
It wasn't quite
Well,
the same experience.
It wasn't the same experience.
it wasn't the same. And I was very
But like you
I-
guys do.
I also just had it in my head where I was like, oh shit, like I had this beer on a pedestal of just, wow, this was like what I had drank, and like this was like the epitome of IPAs at the time. And like, whatever, 2-3 years had passed, and it was just like I expected that to be what it was, but people's taste buds change, and you don't.
Mike, I like your
appreciate things that
Simcoe.
way.
You guys do
It's
you
like
do
a
a double
Simcoe.
with a Simcoe?
Yeah, we do. And that's got one of my favorite hops that nobody uses, Mandarina Bavaria.
I love it.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's that and Simcoe are just like tangerine overload.
I'm a fan. I like the Simcoe hat.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
You guys do a really nice job with it. I've traded for those cans, by the way.
Oh, well, next time just reach out to me and I'll make sure you get some.
Well, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, dude.
Well, I'm going to end on a positive note, guys. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. JJ, thanks for this. Faraz, thank you. Trevor, thank you. Josh, Mike, it's been an honor to, shoot the shit with you guys about beer, and I hope I get to do it again soon.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, I'm taking off as well. That means we're all fucking done.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
All right.
Cheers.
See you guys later.
Cheers.